Now we move to the organelle or cell component. Okay, component of the cell, one by one lah. Jadi before this I explain to you on the structure and the name of the structure for the plant cell and animal cell. Now we go directly to one by one. Specifically, what is the structure and also the functions of the component of the cell. This one you can see at the page of 24, 25 and also 26. Okay, in textbook lah, KSSM. Mitochondria. This is a structure of mitochondria. You can see that here is the mitochondria. It present both for the animal cell and the plant cell. Mitochondria, the structure is a rod shape. Okay, rod shape, 2-layer membrane. Okay, they have 2-layer membrane. Here we have the outer layer. Kita tak boleh buat anak panah ya. Outer layer. Kemudian kita ada inner layer. Okay, outer layer and inner layer. For outer layer, they smooth structure. Okay, they have a smooth structure of the outer layer. But for the inner layer, folded. They have a folded membrane for the inner layer. Jadi dia ada 2-layer membrane. That is the structure of mitochondria. Mitochondria function involved in the they have an enzyme for the cellular respiration. They involved in the cellular respiration. Okay, one of the thing that been producing by the mitochondria itself is enzyme involving in the cellular respiration. Ada banyaklah enzim dia ya. Kamu tak belajar lah at this level. You are not learning about the enzyme, what type of enzyme, what specific name of that particular enzyme. And then what is the function of mitochondria? Mitochondria function site for generate energy. We call as a ATP, Adenosine Triphosphate. This particular substance, chemical substance, is very important inside our body, for our daily life usage. Okay, ATP is very important, crucial things that our daily functions need to have. Okay, our daily function need to have. It come from the carbohydrate, mostly carbohydrate that been break down at the cytoplasm, and then the substance or the product of the breakdown in the cytoplasm will enter the mitochondria, and then they will generate energy. Okay, even they have a process without using the mitochondria, still can producing the ATP, but it become more efficient to use the mitochondria in productions of the ATP. More ATP being produced if they going through the process inside the mitochondria. Okay, what happen? The happen is the glucose oxidation process during the cellular respiration. They have a cellular respiration that will oxidize the glucose. What is the meaning of oxidation? If I'm not mistaken, this one you learn in the chemical, yeah, in chemistry. Okay, you learn in the chemistry about the oxidation and also the reduction process. Of course lah, the last time I learned chemistry is during my matriculation years. Okay, my matriculation years, far long ago. If I'm mistaken, I'm very sorry, but I believe that is the correct way. The glucose, they have action with the oxygen. Okay, they have action with the oxygen. We call oxidation, and then from the oxidation of the glucose, it producing the ATP. Okay, producing this ATP. ATP involved in many functions of the body. For example, the one right now happen. I'm speaking, okay, and then you listening. The listening process involving the ATP, because it involving the transmissions of the impulse, transmission of the electrical impulse or information at the nerve cell to the brain. Okay, to the brain, it required the ATP. For example, the thing that I'm doing, I'm speaking. Okay, they have a vibration in the vocal cord okay, that vibration in producing sound also require ATP. Without ATP, it cannot be produced and become very weak even to produce the sounds. Okay, even to produce a sound. That's why ATP is very important. The mitochondria is very important, especially for the cell. Okay, for the cell that involve the movement. Okay, for the cell that involve the movement. For example, what cell involving the movement? Muscle cell. Muscle cell, they have a contraction and relaxation. They reduce and they relax. They reduce and relax. In way, they will produce a movement. They will produce a movement. For example, our skeletal muscle that have attachment to the bone that will help us moving, walking, okay, moving our hand, grab something, okay, smile. That's all involving the skeletal muscle required ATP. Another one, we have a cell of sperm cell. Sperm cell, they have a tail structure. This tail structure need to move, need to have a contraction and relaxation so that they can move to the fallopian tube. That's why they require lots of mitochondria, this organelle, so that they can produce lots of ATP. That's a explanation about the mitochondria. Hopefully you understand. Now we move to the second component of the cell, Golgi apparatus. Golgi apparatus, stack of parallel, flattened sac coated. Okay, all this information actually come from the textbook. Where you can read the textbook is enough. Okay, if you like the textbook, you can use the textbook to refer from what I'm trying to explain to you. This one is in the page of 24. Yeah, this information you can see at the page 24. Stack of parallel, flattened sac coated by one cell membrane. They only consist of one cell membrane, but they are parallel. Parallel, that means they're in the same direction. Okay, parallel is the same direction. They're flattened, sac coated by one cell membrane. They only have one cell membrane. It's not really difficult from the structure of this one. Okay, function, they will receive, okay, and then process, modified, repackaging, and transport chemical from the ER. Okay, they receive the product from the ER. ER, they have a product from the synthesis by the ribosome. Ribosome synthesis the protein. For example, more specific kind of protein, hormone or enzyme. Okay, hormone or enzyme. This hormone or enzyme will be transported out by the rough endoplasmic reticulum to the cytoplasm. And then they will move to the Golgi apparatus. At the Golgi apparatus will receive that chemicals, that product from the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and then they will process again so that it compatible for the outside or inside usage. Okay, they need to reprocess lah. They need to process again so that it usable, it can be used by the outside or inside cell, and then they modify it, and then they repackaging and transport the chemical out from the Golgi apparatus so that they can move towards the target, okay, target location, target direction, whether they are using inside the cell or they will exit the cell for the usage of another cell outside. Okay, that is the function. The second one, a chemical that they receive is such as we have the protein, carbohydrate or glycoprotein. This is the thing that been received by the Golgi apparatus. They will process this chemical, modify, repackaging, and transport this chemical from the endoplasmic reticulum. They receive from the endoplasmic reticulum, they process it back, and then they produce it again, okay, in the newer form. so that is compatible for the usage of the outside cell or inside cell. And then we have the plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane, outer membrane surround the entire cell. Plasma membrane. Okay, this is the layer. This is the layer of the plasma membrane. Please make sure lah you're not confusing plasma membrane and the cell wall. Cell wall is outer layer for the plant cell. Okay, cell wall is outer layer of the plant cell, while for the plasma membrane is the inner layer. Okay, plasma membrane, outer membrane surround entire cell, made of protein, phospholipid, and of course they have a lipid here. We call as a cholesterol, for example, between the tail. Okay, between the tail, you will learn more specifically or more in detail in chapter 3. Okay, movement of substance across the plasma membrane. Elastic, firm and thin, partially or semi-permeable. What is the meaning of partially or semi-permeable? Some of the substance can easily enter the cell, some of it cannot easily enter. They need help. Okay, they need help so that they can enter the cell or exit the cell. And sometimes they require energy so that they can transport that substance, that chemical substance. Okay, that's why we call as a partially or semi-permeable membrane. Some substance can easily in and out of the cell based on the concentration gradient, okay, or the concentration of that particular substance in helping them move. But some of the substance cannot easily enter or out of the cell. They require help from the protein, okay, carrier protein or the pore protein. They need helps. Another one, they require energy to move substance in and out of the cell. Okay, hopefully you understand. That is the meaning of partially or semi-permeable membrane. The functions of the plasma membrane separate cell content from the external environments. Okay, they have the external environments that maybe have lots of things that harmful to the cell. For example, they have a pathogen outside of the cell. Then that particular pathogen will be harmful if they're entering the cell. Okay, will be harmful if they're entering the cell. They will destroy the cell. They will destroy the DNA of the cell. Then they will prevent entry of this pathogen to the inside. But somehow, some pathogen, they have a very good ability invading the cell. Okay, they separate cell content from the external. They control movement of substance in and out. Of course, they control what can in, what can out. Allow exchange of nutrient, respiratory gases, waste material. Nutrient, for example, what? Glucose is the nutrients. Vitamin, okay, they allow exchange nutrient. For example, nutrient also been produced by the cell. Okay, certain nutrient been produced by the cell. Okay, been apa ni, what we call as the needs of the body. Okay, what body required from that particular cell. Basically, this nutrient come from the digestion process. Most of the nutrient come from the digestion of the cell. Some of the amino acid, okay, some of the amino acid being produced by the body itself. Okay, body can produce certain amino acid that been required by the body needs. Okay, and then we have the respiratory gases. Respiratory gases, they're the two type. We have the oxygen or carbon dioxide. Oxygen be needed in the mitochondria, okay, for the oxidations of the glucose. They require the oxygen, and then the process itself, cellular respiration, will produce the carbon dioxide. This carbon dioxide cannot be used by our body. It's a waste. When it become a waste, it need to be excrete out, eliminate from the body. that we consider as a respiratory gases. It different, of course, for the plant. Plant, they require both. They need the oxygen, they need the carbon dioxide. For example, if they are going through the process in producing the ATP, they require the oxygen. If not, they require the carbon dioxide for the photosynthesis process. They will producing the oxygen. That particular oxygen considered as a waste. Okay, considered as a waste. And then, of course, we have a waste materials producing by the body itself. Okay, some waste material, for example, deamination or the productions of the uric acid, ammonia, okay, urea. All these things need to be excreted out from the body. It will be accumulate in our kidney and excrete out as a urine. Okay, that is the function of plasma membrane. Allow exchange. And then we have the lysosome. If you look at this lysosome, with an inside, they have a dot. Okay, dot. I want to show about the enzyme. Okay, enzyme. This enzyme is very important because this enzyme will help in the destroying, breakdown of the substance they engulf with or they connect with. Small spherical sac, one membrane. The contain hydrolytic enzyme. Okay, the dot one. This example lah ya. Saya lukis lah warna dia tu macam tu, tapi it's not really like that lah. Dia bukan warna merah. Okay, sajalah saya lukis bagi warna dia warna merah atau hitam. Okay, the color itself is not like that. If you want to see the real image of this lysosome, you can turn to page 25. That 25 is showing you the image of the real image of the lysosome. Okay, lysosome is a small spherical sac, one membrane. They contain hydrolytic enzyme. Okay, much of the function of the lysosome is basically based on this hydrolytic enzyme. Okay, when they're producing the hydrolytic enzyme, this hydrolytic enzyme is very powerful. It's a gun. It's a gun lah, or is a knife that will destroying thing that related to the lysosome. Okay, function hydrolyze. Hydro mean water, lyse breakdown. In the way they're using the water as a medium, and then the breakdown process take place. The breakdown of the complex organic molecule, for example, the protein, nucleic acid, lipid. Okay, because some of the organelle, okay, the old organelle or the organelle that already dead or the worn out organelle, they are protein or they are nucleic acid or they are lipid. They need to be break down by the this hydrolytic enzyme. And another one function of lysosome, they are destroying the bacteria or the pathogen. For example, we have the neutrophil and monocyte. Neutrophil and monocyte is a leukocyte, type of leukocyte. One is the granulocyte, another one is agranulocyte. Of course, you will learn more detail about the leukocyte, white blood cell, how white blood cell defend our body, destroying all the bacteria, microorganism, fungus, virus, in a way that our body is safe. Okay, our body can function normally. And then they're destroying the damaged cell. Okay, if the cell is worn out or damaged or a very old cell, okay, they will damage the cell. Ribosome. Ribosome, small, spherical, compact granule. Okay, small, spherical, compact granule. They contain the protein, RNA. Okay, protein and RNA. Of course, ribosome also, they have inside the plant cell and animal cell. That's why this come with the similarity. Both of the plant cell and animal cell have this cell component. Okay, they required to be in the cell component inside the plant cell or animal cell. The ribosome, small, spherical, compact granule. That is the structure. This one is the structure. Of course, you can read the textbook here. All the notes that I'm showing you come from the textbook. Of course, I cannot show the textbook. Textbook have a copyright. I cannot show in my YouTube channel. It's a copyright, then it's illegal to use because they have a copyright rules and regulation, the law for the copyright. We cannot easily use other people work, okay, without asking them for permission. Of course, when we want to ask the permission, we need to pay something to the author of these books, okay, textbook. I cannot easily use the textbook teaching you using my YouTube channel. Is illegal thing, is not something that good to do, okay. That's why I need to write it again and trying my best to explain lah. Small spherical compact granule contain the protein and RNA. Function to protein synthesis, okay. For example, the hormone. Okay, another one is enzyme, being synthesized or being produced by the ribosome. Ribosome in the textbook, they have a dependent ribosome and independent ribosome. The one that attached with the rough endoplasmic reticulum, here ribosome, the one that attached with a rough endoplasmic reticulum is the dependent ribosome. They have another one, independent ribosome, ribosome yang bebas or floating ribosome, they without the attachment to the rough endoplasmic reticulum or endoplasmic reticulum, okay. They may be at cytoplasm or nucleoplasm, maybe at the cytoplasm or nucleoplasm. And then we go to endoplasmic reticulum. Both animal and plant cell have this endoplasmic reticulum. Membrane is continuous to nuclear membrane. Okay, membrane is continuous to nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane is structure of the nucleus. Okay, the structure of the nucleus. Interconnected folded flattened sac. We have the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Transport protein synthesized by a ribosome. Okay, transport protein synthesized by a ribosome. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Of course, endoplasmic reticulum ada two type. We have two type: rough endoplasmic reticulum, smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Rough endoplasmic reticulum, they have attachment with the ribosome, but they do not synthesize the protein. They do not. Please make sure that you do not write and answer rough endoplasmic reticulum synthesize the protein. That is totally wrong. The one that synthesize the protein is ribosome. What the rough endoplasmic reticulum do? Transport protein that been synthesized by ribosome. They transport until they been exit the rough endoplasmic reticulum, entering the cytoplasm. Okay, entering the cytoplasm. And then for this smooth endoplasmic reticulum, yeah, they synthesize, transport glycerol and also the lipid. Okay, this one correct. They will synthesize, they will produce the glycerol and the lipid. And endoplasmic reticulum carries out drugs detoxification. Okay, this specifically for the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, this one specifically for the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum for the drugs detoxification. That means they will trying to neutralize all the bad things that come from the drugs usage. Okay, drug usage. That's why in our liver we have many smooth endoplasmic reticulum in way that we want to eliminates all the excessive drugs, alcohol or toxin. Okay, but if too many, it work too hard, it will destroying our liver. Okay, please make sure lah the one for student that listen to me, alcohol, drugs, abusing of alcohol and drug is not good for our health, especially for our liver. it can damage our liver, because our liver will need to work so hard eliminating all these excessive drugs and alcohol. And then we have the nucleus. Okay, nucleus, the largest component. The nucleus is the largest components. They are compressed, spherical, enclosed by the nuclear membrane. This is a structure lah. The outside one is the nuclear membrane. Okay, the outside one is the nuclear membrane. That nuclear membrane, they have many pore. We call as a nuclear pore. Nuclear pore. Okay, nucleus contain the chromosome, the black one. If you can see the black one, they contain the nucleus. If I'm not wrong, the color, the one that I put green color there is the nucleus, and also the spaces inside the nucleus we call as a nucleoplasm. It's similar to the cytoplasm, but this one inside the nucleus we call as a nucleoplasm. Function, control cell activity. All the activity of the cell is being based by the direction of the nucleus. Nucleus tell them to do. For example, the most important function for the cell is synthesizing of the protein or the lipid by the rough endoplasmic reticulum and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. This synthesizing of the protein or lipid all been based by the information by the nucleus, by the chromosome itself. It tell the ribosome what type of protein they need to produce. For example, if the cell located at the wall, stomach wall, of course they will producing a pepsin or renin. Okay, if they are located at the small intestine, they will producing the enzyme for the maltase, lactase. Okay, all that particular enzyme. And then they have a chromosome. This one is the genetic materials. They contain the information about that particular cell, especially for that particular humans, okay, particular species. And then we have the cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is jelly-like medium. They contain the organic compound. Example, we have the protein, lipid, carbohydrate. That means it's like a storage. Okay, it's like peti sejuk, refrigerator. All the what been needed by the cell been stored at the cytoplasm. Okay, they're jelly-like medium. The organic compound, protein, lipid, carbohydrate, water, glucose, nutrient, waste product, all also have become part of the cytoplasm. They contain that, and also they contain the inorganic compound, potassium ion. Okay, function, medium for the biochemical reaction. One of the biochemical reaction that happen in the cytoplasm is the breakdown of the glucose. That glucose will break down, becoming the pyruvate before they entering the mitochondria. That chemical process happen at the cytoplasm. And then we move to the difference, okay, between the animal cell and plant cell. Okay, the difference between animal cell and plant cell. Okay, this difference and similarities you can see at page 27. Okay, page 27. They have a table there. They're explaining about the similarities and also the difference. Of course, you can read. The textbook is quite nice, yeah, with all the drawing, all the color. But somehow, some students, they are not really fond to read a lot. When they are not really fond or like to read a lot, they find the textbooks quite boring. Okay. If you are interested, you can buy my note lah. But I'm not forcing anyone to buy. You can buy, or you can you did not want to buy. It's okay for me. I have my salary every month. Okay, the government pay me. This is my contribution lah, in way that I can help you understand the biology. Okay, the difference, most obvious, the difference between the plant cell and animal cell. Animal cell, they have a centriole. Okay, plant cell do not have a centriole, but still the plant cell can carry out the cell division, because centriole the structure first, cylindrical exists in pair. Okay, they exist in pair. They're made from microtubule. This microtubule, they have many types. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, they have microfilament, intermediate microtubules, and another one, cytoskeleton. The one that you do not learn lah during your SPM. Okay, don't worry too much. This microtubule happen to exist inside the cell. Okay, the component for the microtubule, they exist inside the cell. They have inside the cell. The cell tu ada banyak lagi lah selain daripada kamu belajar ni. Other than the thing that you learn, there are many other things. Specifically, when we see the cell, they have many type of cell. If you look at this one is a general structure of the plant cell and animal cell. But you need to understand the cell itself, the structure and also the function is based on the type of organ it made up of. For example, the red blood cell. Of course, it's different from the picture that I'm drawing here. Red blood cell is biconcave, is flexible, is have lack of nucleus or no nucleus. Okay, then there is considered to be difference. If we look at the sperm cell, of course it's different because it have tail, it have neck, it have a head. They're different because of the function itself and also location of that particular cell. But the one that you learn in this chapter is the general structure of the cell. It's according to the type of the cell and also the location of that cell make up what type of organ. The animal centriole. Small cylindrical exists in pair made up from the microtubule. Function, formation of spindle fiber during the cell division. Okay, formation of spindle fiber. This spindle fiber will help in the chromosome alignment. Okay, chromosome alignment, and also will help in the separation of the cytochromatids and moving to opposite pole. This one we will learn in the cell division. That's animal central, only have in the plant cell. And then we move to the plant vacuole. Okay, the plant is famously known to have vacuole. The animal cell do not have the vacuole actually, but the book in the textbook here, they said that the plant, the animal cell also have the vacuole, but it is small. Okay, you can turn at the page 27. Yeah, animal cell, no vacuole. If present, it is small. Okay, that's what this textbook tell you lah. Okay, I read what the textbook tell you. Normally, no vacuole for the plant, for the animal cell. If they are present, it's a small vacuole only. Okay, sometimes we did not say vacuole, we said about vesicle. Okay, but never mind lah. You just refer according to the textbook is enough. No need to worry about other thing. Okay, plant vacuole filled with cell sap. For example, this cell sap contain of the water, organic acid, sugar, amino acid, enzyme, mineral salt, oxygen, carbon dioxide. All the thing compact inside the vacuole. Okay, surrounded by the tonoplast membrane. That mean the layer, outer layer. Okay, the outer layer here is we call as a tonoplast. Okay, we call as a tonoplast. Young plant, many small vacuole. Okay, but when they become matured, the small vacuole they are fused together, becoming the large vacuole. Animal cell, whether they have no vacuole or present in the smaller vacuole, small vacuole. Okay, that's according to the textbook. According to the textbook. Function of the vacuole: absorption of the water, the storage of the water. When they have pack of water, they are full of water, they are filled up with water, they become turgid. We can see that when we immerse the vegetable inside the water, they become turgid. Okay, from the wilt become turgid, become fresh, because they have absorptions of the water. That absorption of water, the water directly fill up the vacuole. And then we have the unicellular animals. Vacuole we contract. Okay, unicellular animal atau unicellular organism. I'm not really agree using the animals, because in the animal kingdom, okay, in animal kingdom is have their own characteristic. How we want to differentiate certain organism is in animal kingdom or in the plantae kingdom, or in the group of bacteria, or in the group of fungi. Okay, that's the thing that I'm not agree. But of course, you need to refer to the textbook. Whatever the condition is, you refer to textbook, and it will be much easier like that. Unicellular animals. This one had been used by the textbook. Then I'm referring to the textbook lah. Unicellular animal, for example, we have the amoeba and paramecium. Amoeba and paramecium, they have a contractile vacuole. Okay, amoeba and paramecium, they have a contractile vacuole. This vacuole will contract so that they will eliminate, they will force the water inside that vacuole to move out from the cell, and then they control the amount of water at the cytoplasm lah. That's why we call as osmoregulation. In controlling the water is osmoregulation. And then we have the chloroplast. Chloroplast, the structure is oval, 2 layer of membrane. They have a 2 layer. Of course, you not clearly see and at this image that I drawn. Contain chlorophyll pigments. Please make sure the organelle itself is the chloroplast. The organelle. This one is the chloroplast. The green pigment, okay, that made up, that give color to the chloroplast is chlorophyll. That means chloroplast is the bigger one, chlorophyll is the much smaller one. What give color to the chloroplast? That chlorophyll pigment, because that chlorophyll pigment is the green one. The function is photosynthesis. It will carry out the photosynthesis process, where they will absorb the sunlight, okay, light energy, and then the uses of the water, and then the uses of the carbon dioxide. They are producing the glucose and the oxygen. That's why the plant, they can make their own foods without depending too much on the other organism. Okay, they can produce their own food. The function is photosynthesis. And then of course the plant, they have a cell wall. Okay, they have a cell wall. The plant cell, well known to have cell wall. Animal cell do not have cell wall. Of course, some microorganism, they have cell wall. Some of microorganism, they have cell wall. And also they have a chloroplast. But for the plant cell itself, they have the cell wall. No, for the animal cell. This cell wall is strong, rigid outer layer made from the cellulose fiber, fully permeable. Fully permeable, that means all the substance can move in and out of the cell. Okay, they have a hole. That hole, if I'm not mistaken, we call as a plasmodesmata. That hole or that door easily can have a movement of substance in and out. Okay, they will not restrict any substance moving in or moving out. They're fully permeable. Function, maintain plant cell shape and mechanical supports to the plant cell. Okay, mechanical support of the cell. Okay, cell component density. Cell component density, mitochondria. This one is based on the page. What page? Okay, page 36. Okay, I directly go to page 36 because it's related with our discussion lah on the cell component. Cell density, cell component density. Mitochondria, many can found many at the sperm cell, muscle cell, plant meristem cell. Plant meristem cell, they are abundant at the root and the shoot. They involved in the cell division. Of course, cell division require lots of ATP so that they can have that particular function. And then muscle cell, contract and relax. Muscle cell, we have three types of muscle cell. We have the skeletal muscle, smooth muscle, and the cardiac muscle. Cardiac muscle at our heart, smooth muscle can found at the blood vessel, skeletal muscle at the bones. Okay, and then the sperm cell. Involving the swimming to the uterus, okay, so that they can fertilize with the secondary oocyte. And then we have a chloroplast. Chloroplast can found abundantly at the palisade mesophyll cell, spongy mesophyll cell. This is structure of the leaf, okay, structure of the leaf. Because at the leaf they have many chloroplasts, majority of the plant. But some specific plant, of course, they have the chloroplast at the stem. For example, the cactus, because they are reducing number of leaf or no leaf at all. Then how they can carry out the photosynthesis process? At the stem itself. Okay. And then rough endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, found many at the pancreatic cell because they are producing or secreting the enzyme. And then the goblet cell, intestinal epithelium, producing the mucus. Respiratory tract mucus, okay, respiratory tract mucus. And then we have smooth endoplasmic reticulum, many at the liver cell. They can found many abundantly at the liver cell for detoxification of drugs and poison. Okay, drugs and poison. Okay, hopefully you can understand. I'm very sorry. I apologize many times to you because lack of my proficiency in English. Okay, you can write a comment if you understand, you cannot understand, you want me to mix the Malay and the English. Of course you can tell me. I will try my best to explain, okay, all the content. Kadang very difficult for me lah, even though most of my time I'm teaching in English, but sometimes it's difficult for you to take the word that I'm saying, what is the meaning of that word, and then when you do not understand the words, and then you will not understand the concept. When you do not understand the concept, it will cause a difficulty and it will become less attractive, less interesting. Okay, hopefully you understand. If any criticism or any lack of thing, please let me know. It's okay. Okay, never mind. Kamu boleh kritik, boleh bagi tahu apa yang tak bagus, apa yang bagus, boleh bagi tahu dekat ruangan komen. Tak ada masalah. Okay, kalau kamu tak nak, kalau bagus kamu tak nak komen pun tak apa, tak ada masalah. Okay, no worries lah. Okay, what I'm doing, I try my best to explain so that you can understand what are really in your syllabus, okay, regarding the biology subject.